Wrong, there's plenty of both. Here we go.
Where Colin was right?
Well, the Lakers, lost, and they're probably not going to make the playoffs. And I said 3 games into the season, this roster's a mess. It's a really old and will be an injury-plagued mess. Yesterday was their 39th starting lineup. I said in the first week of the year, AD's going to get hurt. LeBron will give you 60 games. They don't shoot the 3. They don't defend the 3. Old rosters fall apart physically, and when the players get hurt, they're out longer. This is exactly what we predicted. At times, an uninspired, disengaged, way too old NBA roster.
Where Colin was wrong.
Well, I thought Duke would win the championship. I mean, they got 4 first-round players. They've got Coach K. They were playing for something. And they had been the best team in the last 3 minutes of games when those NBA players would take over, but they didn't get exceptional guard play. Caleb Love was the best player on the floor when it mattered. And college basketball is full of surprises. Hubert Davis and Carolina are on fire. They made more key shots. They made more key stops in a game that could have gone either way. Missed free throws were probably the difference. But I thought it was Duke as the best team, the most NBA star-studded team. And it shows you that one-and-done stuff, it's not easy. Ask John Calipari. You can have all the NBA guys, but Carolina had the chemistry.
Where Colin was right.
Another great pro athlete chooses Los Angeles. I've said this. As entertainment and sports converge, why go to New York? New York teams are a mess. LA teams are all good. Why? Because this is the entertainment capital of the country. And you're really seeing LA pull away from New York. Anytime an athlete has a choice, it's not even close. He didn't take the most money. Now, a lot of this is McVay and the culture, but you saw it with the Clippers. You've seen it with the Lakers. You've seen it with the Rams. You are seeing Los Angeles separate from New York. When it comes to the big cities, the choice now across all these sports, when the athlete has a choice and calls his agent, is Los Angeles.
Where Colin was wrong.
49er GM John Lynch said at the NFL owner meetings in Florida, we may just bring Jimmy Garoppolo back. I don't get it. I mean, basically, you stole him for a second-round pick. He's been a wonderful 49er. When are you going to play Trey Lance? He's got to take the snaps. You got to give him the offense. Listen, if Trey Lance can't play, let's figure it out fast. Let's figure it out really fast and move on. What's interesting to me is if you moved Garoppolo, you'd have some cap space, and that feels far more important to a franchise that considers themselves a Super Bowl franchise. I don't know how good Trey Lance is. I have no idea. But the thing about Kyle Shanahan's offenses, they're not quarterback-driven. Quarterback's important, but, they went to Green Bay and beat Aaron Rodgers with the second-best quarterback easily in a football game. But they sound like they're going to keep him.
Where Colin was right?
Well, I said years ago, the Dodgers front office really understands what's happening. Once LeBron arrived in L.A., baseball's losing audience and losing some fans. It's a slower sport in a faster world. But they have built an all-star team. They picked up Craig Kimbrell from the White Sox, the weakness of their team. You look at their lineup, you look at their pen, you look at their starting staff, it is an all-star team. They went hyper-aggressive about 6 years ago before the rest of sports went this aggressive, and they really get it. In a distracted, warm-weather market with a lot of options in the summer, the Dodgers have said, hey, short-term, we're going to overspend for some guys. We're going to create an all-star team. We will be rewarded at the gate and rewarded in the standings. They have been hyper-aggressive, and it's worked.
Where Colin was wrong.
According to a report by Jeremy Fowler at ESPN, Seahawk wide receiver DK Metcalf could be had at the right price. I said this. I just didn't see Pete Carroll signing off on a rebuild at 70 years old. Russell Wilson's gone. Bobby Wagner's gone. If DK Metcalf is gone, your best player, is Jamal Adams. You'll be really good at safety, and that's about it. It'll be a rebuild everywhere else. That is very unique in the NFL, and Carroll has some leverage and power. So maybe Russell Wilson didn't work, but he has to sign off on some of this stuff. I would have thought Pete would have fought to overspend, figure out a way to be viable. But right now the Seahawks have easily the weakest roster, and it's not close, in the NFC West.
Where Colin was right?
I've been on this for years. Don't confuse talented, flashy point guard with valuable. The Memphis Grizzlies are 20-2 since Ja Morant left. They're averaging 118 a game, easily the number one offense in the NBA. Their net rating, their offensive rating have gone up since Ja Morant left. It doesn't mean he's not great. It doesn't mean he doesn't have value. It doesn't mean he's not talented. But this idea that the Derrick Rose, Westbrook, Ja Morant, wildly, sensationally athletic, ball-centric guards are irreplaceable. No, Chris Paul is. The Suns stunk. They brought in Chris Paul. They got 62 wins, and the season isn't over. Point guard and quarterback has to be beyond your talent. It is a distribution play. Ja Morant, 4 less points a game, 3 more assists, in my opinion, would be more valuable than being the highlight machine he is. I like him a lot. But Giannis and Ja Morant, in terms of value, friends, it's not close.
Where Colin was right?
I have watched the United States men's national team for 40 years. They got a favorable World Cup draw. We have a history against England. We've done pretty well, even though they were in the Euro final. Iran, a European playoff winner. This is a very favorable draw. I have said this about Christian Pulisic. He is easily the greatest American soccer talent of all time. He was unbelievable in qualifying. There is no second best player when he's out there. He led them in the most important games. They got a favorable draw. They have a chance to advance. This is the most talented United States men's national team ever. Expect them to win several games, albeit not the World Cup. And Pulisic was everything we've been saying in the qualifying round. Head and shoulders above any other United States men's national team player. God, he's good. He is just really good. He had a couple goals in qualifying that were like stuff you'd see internationally. Like as good as anybody internationally. Colin right, Colin wrong. Bill Oram from The Athletic on the Lakers' mess. Jim Jackson in the final hour will give us his sense of what we should expect tonight. You know, we said this about the World Cup and college basketball. We don't talk about it weekly. It's just a great 3-week event. And college basketball, March Madness was the only really big event in the country, big games that were canceled, right? Like we got an NFL, NBA, baseball season, hockey season. College basketball was essentially canceled, and people clearly missed it because the ratings have been sensational. I think tonight you'll have your highest national championship rating in 8, 9, 10 years. A lot of NBA guys and a lot of non-NBA guys, incredible brands and passion tonight. Can't wait. We all have different ideas about success. We achieve it at different times in different ways. You're retiring. You're changing jobs. You can't make big mistakes, and I would recommend you don't do it alone. Retirement especially is a huge step. What do you do with your Social Security? For over 130 years, Stifel, S-T-I-F-E-L, Stifel Financial Advisors have helped clients like you create personalized retirement plans. Understand the many options for claiming Social Security, implementing an investment portfolios designed around your timeline and your financial needs. And that's just the beginning. As a client, you'll have access to Stifel's award-winning equity research and investment strategy views. Just enables you to make informed decisions. You made the money, you earn the money, you put the money away. Just don't do it alone. Invest in your success. Find a Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company.